Massive shout out to Super Rod, Klein, for sponsoring today's video. If you don't know who Super Rod and Klein are, you shouldn't be in this game really, because they are massive players in giving us tools to help make our job easier. They've brought us tools like the Super Rod ferret, the ferret cam, the Super Rods, the cable tongue, which I've got right here. So yeah, massive players. And they've teamed up with City Electrical Factors. And what they're doing is they're going to give away a massive amount of prizes if you go and buy some Klein tools. So basically, if you go into City Electrical and you buy some tools, the campaign runs from the 1st of May and it ends the 31st of August. So it counts if you buy tools online or in store. So all you have to do is put your invoice number into the website below. Put the link here for you and you'll be entered into the prize draw. And when you do that, you'll automatically entered into the instant prize draw where you can win a £10 Costa coffee voucher. So this sort of thing has never been seen in the electrical industry before with these types of prizes. So the top prize, a trip for two to Texas plus £10,000 worth of Klein and Super Rod tools. They've got smart TVs, Nintendo Switch, iPad Air, Apple Watches, Sonos surround systems, and tons of £10 Costa coffee vouchers to give away. And that's not all. They're also doing fantastic deals with CEF on the Klein tools themselves, as you can see here. And any of this stuff, I'll leave all the links in the description. And in this video, we're going to be unboxing one of their toolkits. I'm looking forward to that. So enjoy the video, sit back, get a cup of tea, enjoy the ride. Well, I've got my mask on my chin before anyone says, so the client's in and out, sort of. So me and James can just go, whoop, look, whoop, whoop, and talk, they're gone. From Monday we can cuddle anyway, so it's fine. This is the little garagey workshop type place. Got a nice little loft actually. Got some lighting. Sockets all around. James is just doing the iPadage. This is the little board. This is the little board we got here. Main switch with two MCBs. If I remember rightly, the RCD protection is at the other end, so this is fine, but I don't know what cable's feeding this, and I've just seen an horrible little socket on that pillar there, and I'm hoping it isn't on the picking up off the feed. So from the house to the socket, from the socket to here, because I think it's on a 32. I'm not entirely sure. I literally come here to do a quote and that's it. So we'll get into it, and then obviously we'll find, if we find anything, we'll really exaggerate it just for the video, yeah. Right, we've whapped the cover off. What the heck? Look at that. That's bloody awesome. Yeah, it's a bit of 2.5. And as I suspected, it's definitely going to be curling into that bloody socket down there. So we've got a socket hanging off at the end of it. We've got a 16 amp. And we've got a B6. We've just done a quick calculation. This is about 40 meters from the board. So minimum size with this SWA should be, I've calculated at 20 amps. Obviously, it should be a bit more because we've got a 16, because we could potentially pull 16 and 6 amps, which is 22 amps. And that cable is not rated at 22 amps with that length. So that should be minimum 4 mil. It isn't, so it's undersized. Yeah, and it's new colours, so this isn't that old, is it really? Well, whenever we change colours, I can't even remember, but a bit naughty really, so we'll have to just get into this, and then that's going to have to go down as it's an undersized cable really, isn't it? Hey-ho. So on our sheet, you'll see we've got DB2, which will be our garage, and then DB1, which will be our board in the house, which we haven't done yet. We just started out in here. So we're just working through now, and we've got 8 sockets, believe it or not, in this little garage. We don't know what RCD we've got yet because we haven't looked in the house, but we're just going through some end-to-ends now, continuity. So we've got 0.12 on the R1s, drimes. And we'll see what we get on the neutrals. It's fairly neat, it's just the feed cable's poor. They couldn't be asked to get a new cable up to this, you know, an adequately sized cable up here, to be fair. it's just undersized. They've come off that little socket in the garden. It's just sort of makes sense now. So 1-3, it's about right, yeah. I'll give that a little squeeze and that'll come around. 1-1, yeah, that's fine. And then we'll do the which are all twisted together, so I'll have to untwist those first. So continuity is tested out all perfect. That was our R2 reading. So I'm going to get my little link out leads now. And then you can have the tester, James. Yes. Plug the yellow end on there, yeah? And then go round to each socket in a second. So what we're doing, we're going to create a figure of 8 now to give ourselves an R1 plus R2 reading. So that one will go to the opposite like that. And this one here will go to the opposite cable, sorry, here. That creates a big massive figure of 8 cable then. So all we're doing now is going to each point on that exactly the same cable, testing the reading. So the reading should be exactly the same because we've just created this figure of 8. So if we get a really high reading, we know we got a really crap socket. So continuity again, mate. Plug in and see what we got. We should be able to work this out, obviously, James. So if we have, look, R1, yeah, R1. So let's do it on here quick. Let's do it on here. So R1 is 0.21 plus R2 0.23 divided by 4 equals, that's not right. What did I do wrong there? 0.21 plus 0.23 equals, divided by 4 equals 0.11, first socket, 0.09. So yeah, roughly within the region, aren't we? Yeah. So go around, see if you can get the reading off of the rest of them the same. And then what we need to do at the highest socket, obviously we've got to take some of these off anyway, yeah?
Yep.
See, they're all within, Do the other side as well, mate, please. Both sides of the socket. And then we'll go around, do some visuals, take a few sockets off. I'm probably going to do 50% in the accessories. It's all going to be roughly the same. And then we'll do some earth loops and some RCD testing, but the RCD's down at the house, so James will have to go down there when we do that. So that will knock the rest of the board off, unfortunately. Yeah. Well, high resistance is a bad connection, isn't it? Yeah. Well, it's pretty much what I thought. Look, we've got plasterboard box. Cables are just fairly neat, to be fair. He's done a fairly decent job. They've been jammed in there a little bit, but it's just a shame about that feed cable. I know the client's not going to want to renew that, so we'll have to just see what she says. So it's broken, that one, is it?
Yes.
Let's have a little butcher's, mate. What's the reading anyway?
Hello.
So yeah, pretty much where we want it to be. Where's it broke? Oh, down there.
Side, yeah.
Cracked?
Yeah.
Oh, I see, yeah. I wonder if that'll... Yeah, it's not an immediate danger, but we're going to have to put that down, aren't we? Probably a C3 or a C2, probably. Accessory damage. So as we said, this is as we expected. It's just that feed cable, which is pants, but we'll connect this back in now and we'll do some insulation resistance testing on it. Well, we've done all our testing up to live testing now, basically. We've just done our insulation resistance and we're sort of in the 300 mark, and that one's 400, but it's quite damp in here. You can just feel it in the air. It's really damp. So we're going to plug in now to the sockets and see what we got. And we haven't got our piggyback lead in today, look. James's fault that was. So we got a TT down that house end. It's actually a pretty good reading for the length we run, look, 3.24. So James is now going to go round, do the rest. We're going to record the highest, and then we're going to do an RCD test from the highest socket. But I'll have to go into the house and reset for that. I think this has got an RCD on it. Well, let's hope so, eh? So just going back to that cracked socket, if you come out of here and you go to the observation area. So what I've done is to crack socket front garage hallway. If you come down to the coding, it's really good actually. Look, installation is not necessarily dangerous, but it may not comply with the current versions of the regulations, for example, may have a damaged fitting that does not have exposed live parts. A code C3 itself should not warrant an overall unsatisfactory. So, as I'm saying, that is crap, but there's no exposed live parts. So, you know, it's a C3, so it's not potentially dangerous, an urgent remedial works action, and it's not requires immediate action because there's no, the socket still itself, its integrity, there's no holes in it, so you couldn't stick your fingers in it, so there's no different, it's just got a crack. So it's a C3. So I've just been down to the house. We've got a 30 milliamp type AC RCD, which we will see in a minute. And it does that socket there. But the good news is it's on a 10. It's on a 10, so it's limited to 10 amps. So this cable size is actually okay. 40 meters. Probably get a bit of a 1.5 on 10, but yeah, so that cable size is okay because we're never going to be able to pull 16 and a 6 amps because we're backed up by a 10 amp that end. So that's okay. That's a bit crap, but it has got 3 cores, so he's tried to do something with it rather than glanding it, which is fair enough. And highest on the ×5 was 13.6. So now we can go and make our way down to the house. We have got to do R1, R2 up there, James. So we can do that in a minute. If you want to pop that fitting down, mate, with your usual height. Sure. And we'll go down to the house. So we had, what do we have? 3.27 earth loop at the board. Plus an R1, R2 of 0.65. So we should be looking at 3 point something on the earth loop there, James. Da, 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 da. 3.94. It sounds absolutely marvellous, James. 3.94. So yeah, all in all, it ain't too bad. It's a shame that cable's so small, but at least they put a 10 amp MCB on it. So we're just passing this socket. We thought it'd be rude not to. That comes from the house, and you can tell they've added this on when they've done that power up in that garage there. And then they haven't even bolted the earths together. Hopefully this one is earthed down at the board end. If not, then this one is sort of an unearthed armoured, because they've done that, but look, they've not bolted them together. It's nice and dry, I'll give it that. I'm surprised because it's a crappy little socket, but this is not great. Right, this is the incomer. We've got to take that as 100 amp because we're not pulling him. So what they've done, it comes out of the meter, out of the street, sorry, into the fuse, into the meter, and then they've got them horrible little braided tails, and if you can see under there, I could actually stick something in there, so that's not great, is it? So that'll go down. Those tails look terribly undersized to me. They then split them into the Henley. So why he just didn't cut that off of there and put his meter tails into there, don't know why. And then he's put that too close to the cutout, look, and the lid doesn't, these have got a little catch on top. You need to push them up, down and in. So he couldn't do that, so that's just floating open. And if you see there, he's knocked out that one, which is exposed now, look. And I don't know if the live's exposed, but the neutral's definitely exposed. And then we've got a TT, so we've got an earth spike outside, probably one of these. And then there's our 2 tails going in, and he's then stripped it back to there. So that's single insulation now outside of enclosure, okay? So that's a big no-no. So this is going to definitely need some work doing to it, but we'll get into here. And this is that 10, this is that C10, look, C10, B10, these old M9 square D. And then they've put a C50 here for shower. And the biggest cable I can see is a 4mm. So I'm hoping it isn't on that. And I hope there is a sort of 10mm or a 6mm. But we'll get into it. There we go. Here we go. Here's one of the Klein bags. Absolutely lovely bag this. Look, they've got this lovely pouch up here for your safety glasses. What we're going to do, we're going to dive into this bag, and we're actually going to see what you get in this kit, yeah? And just remember, all this stuff is available online from City Electrical Factors. All the links in the website link down below, okay? So in this bag, you've got yourself a cable tongue, absolutely quality bit of kit that is. This awesome pad saw, super sharp, look at that. Klein Tools jab saw, really nice. You've got yourself a Klein punch down tool, you know when you're doing off your ends for data or telecoms. Lovely pair of Klein pliers. Automatic wire strippers, I like these ones. I did try out some other ones, but these ones are much nicer. I think James has actually got a set of these and I'm always nicking them. So he's also got this level, which we often use on a daily basis. This lovely Klein level. It's just really light and it's just really well made. It's also got magnets on it, which is a bonus. You've got this voltage indicator, which is also nice. These croppers are awesome for cropping off even mains tails up to 25mm. Some lovely side snips there. All this stuff is really nice quality, you know. A real massive chunky tape measure, and these are really good for going long distance because James has got this again. You can get to like 4 meters before it buckles. We've also got in the kit this nice utility knife. It's a folding one as well, so it's quite safe. And then to match those big ones, you get a nice little set of croppers. These are high leverage ones. Cuts up to 9mm aluminium copper cable with ease. And then also this lovely set of screwdrivers, which I do like the handles on these, and they got the shaft that goes in so you can get into those really deep MCBs without any trouble. So yeah, that's a really nice bag. This can be had at City Electrical Factors. So when you've ordered your products, you need to go to the link www.cef.co.uk/buy2win. Enter your invoice number in there and you'll automatically be entered to win some great prizes. But the more you spend, the greater a chance you've got to win an actual prize. And we all know Klein and Super Rods are a massive player in the electrical industry, so get yourself entered and see if you can win some awesome prizes. So there we go. We've got Haircut 100 on the mains tails, especially that one because it's that doesn't accept that size cable. I've worked on these boards before and they give that a Haircut 100. Because it's an 80 amp, you could put these on 16mm tails and these jam 25s in there. Also, there's no thing in that C50, which is great. But to me, see, that's that 10. That's actually something else on that 10, James. They've shuffled the circuits, you see.
Right.
So we've got one socket circuit, one cooker, which is on a 45, on a bit of 4mm by looks of it. There's a cooker. Over there, I take it? No? Yeah. No. So I know there's some, they've had work here. When we came here, there's sockets under the plinth. So yeah, we know this is going to be a kitchen fitters. Look, there you go. See the cable? It's laid on the boiler flue. That's the cooker cable.
Yeah.
Comes down. I bet it's in that corner somewhere.
Yeah, I see it.
Jesus, look at that. Just laid on that red hot flue, look. Ooh. Cheers, mate. I'm hurting my tootsies with my shoes. Not on. Oh. Okay. Yeah, so these labels are just bogus, aren't they?
Yeah.
So, we've disconnected the circuit, which says sockets, only socket circuit. Luckily, there's nothing in that C50. I don't know if I've said this, but there's nothing in that C50. We've got no armoured here. So, that feed that runs up there is jointed somewhere. Don't know where it is. Might come out of a socket. We will try and find it. And I've never seen this before. These earths, they brought them in but made them straight off. Look. Bit weird, isn't it? I've never seen that, but it must be made to do that because there's 3 holes drilled perfectly for these 3 earths. Look. I've never seen that before. I've never seen it on these boards. They always bring them in. Take them up and in. Yeah, so we're going to see if we've got some ring continuity now on this. It's on a 32. And it's a ring circuit, hopefully, so we'll test that first. James is going around counting up sockets. I think there's 1 circuit for the whole house. That's on. That's on, is it? Just out of interest, put it back in, mate. There you go, doubled up.
Yeah.
That's doubled up with that garage.
Okay.
So it's a lot on the 10 amp in there.
Yes.
And she wants to put a 2000 watt heater up there.
Yeah.
It's just going to trip it. That's about 9 amps. Look at that, look. That's where you should do your screws up, look. Anyway, I've disconnected the ring circuit. And I'm going to see what we've got, okay? Neutrals, RN, 0.60. R2, CPC, 1.19. And lives are 1. Oh, broken circuit, James.
Broken.
Yeah, lives are broken. Everything else is okay. So we've got open circuit on the lives, neutrals and CPCs have got continuity. Great. So we'll have to put that down as a, well, we'll go and check a few.
Yep.
Might find it. If we can, we'll rectify it. If not, it's going to have to go down as further investigations.
Yes.
Right, we're just doing some obs on these sockets, and as you can see already, we've got a few yeehaws here. Look, yeehaw! James has been doing some private work again. I'm joking. Don't get upset, James. He doesn't mind. He likes a banter. You can actually see where that's been getting hot. See that colour of that copper? I don't know if you can pick that up. That's actually been getting hot because it's not been connected in there at all. Look, I wonder if that's the same. No, that's just jammed in, but we didn't show it on camera, but that earth was actually hanging out, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So that one and that one's hanging out. We'll put that back in. We're going to try and find that broken socket, broken ring finder, but this is all new. Look, so it's been added on. So we got to find out where they've jointed it. Right, this is blatantly a kitchen fitter. Okay. So I'm not even sure what they've done here. They've disconnected an original socket. There's a cable coming through, which I presume goes down to a socket, and then he's just spurred off with those Wagas. I don't even think those ideal ones are rated at 32 amps, to be honest. So we're trying to check these, but track down that broken circuit as well. So we've not managed to find our broken circuit through our obs, so it's going to have to go down as further investigation needed on that one. We're just moving on to this cooker because the client needs the rest of the sockets on. She's got a meeting, so this is the cooker. I can't decipher whether it's 4 or 6 mil. It looks like 6 mil. I'm not entirely sure, but it drops down in that corner. Yeah, I think it's 6 mil, James. But that's what's sat on the boiler. It's also touching those pipes. So we'll put that down as observation. Look, see him? And then we can't get the oven out because it's been tiled in. Look, they've actually tiled the oven in. So without breaking those bottom tiles off, without pulling this, we're not going to be able to get this oven out and check the connection. So we'll have to test it here. But when we do our earth loop, we will put our clamp on here to make sure the oven's earthed. We'll just have to do our R1, R2 to here at the minute. So what we're going to do first is carry out our ZS at the actual point here, and then we'll move the clamp and compare the reading on the oven. So we've got 2.51 up here. I'll move my clamp to a suitable place on the oven, which is normally a little metal bracket of some sort, and then we'll carry out the test and compare the read and make sure the earth's continuous to the oven, which it is. Look, .58, and I'll just put him on there. Look. Yeah, so you can put 2.58, James, for that, please.
2.58 for me.
So we're just moving on to lighting circuit R1, R2. I've linked out at the board. We have actually got to change this light, but that's just put a stop to it now because we've got no earth continuity at that light, no earth continuity at that switch. I'm not too worried about that. It's a plastic switch. That's got a metal back box. but that's, again, I'm guessing it's going to have none. We've just checked that, but we've screwed that back because there was no screws in it. Effectively, it was one screw. But yeah, that's got no earth continuity. I tell you what, James, I know why. Look, can't you see that? Look.
Yeah, they just put it through.
Look.
Yeah.
Can you see that? So what we need to do is actually test on that copper, mate. Let's just do it now while the camera's on. Touch the copper itself. You on?
Yep.
Nothing. So, you on?
Yeah, definitely on now. 100%.
Nothing, mate. Oh. No, it ain't that at all. All right, we'll have to go upstairs and have a look then. Okay, we've got the old double insulated singles here. Look, so we've got no earth in there whatsoever. Just checking these wall lights that are metal. That's lucky, isn't it? Look, could just quite easily jumped into there and then gone boom. So many things wrong in this house. We'll sort this out today anyway, but we've got to check this now. Check it now, James, so you can. 1, 2. I can try and do some full filming. I'm good at that. Go.
7.5.
So we've got an earth. That's good. So we'll connect that back in then. Right. We've got continuity out there. We haven't got continuity below here. We've got to change these lights anyway. So we're going to test them first. And then while this circuit's off and the client's on a Zoom call thing, we're going to just change these lights. We've got two plaster of Paris uplighters things, so we're going to do those while we're here. So this is one of the reasons I hate these lights. If you come in here, James, you can already see it's got a little hairline fracture. You ain't going to be able to see it, but it's got a little fracture there. And this is why these tools are so invaluable. Invaluable? Because there's no way you get that otherwise. This is the little wearer set. And there's no other way of doing this apart from standing on the bed, unfortunately, because it's such a small bedroom. We haven't got anywhere to move the bed to, so I've had to put a washer on this side and leave that one floating on that screw. Right, the plot thickens. It turns out that this 2.5 and this 1mm are actually a ring final. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sockets in there, and they've wired half of it in 1mm and half of it in 2.5, and it's on a 10 amp 13, what are these? 1361s, 3871s, sorry. Yeah, fun times. This circuit we've got doubled up here. We haven't done it, it's whatever someone's done. They've got half of it wired in 1.1mm, half it wired in 2.5, a ring. This here lashes down here, goes down here, is buried in here. There's no access panel, and I believe that's going to have an armoured hanging off the end of it that feeds up the garden to the socket, and then they've extended from the socket to that outhouse. So at the minute that's on a 10. So if she was to put her heater on here and then plug the Hoover in there, it would trip off. So potentially got to do something with that. I don't think she wants to change a fuse board, but this is certainly got to have something done with it and sorted out. But then we've also got the faults on no light, no CPC in the light in the lounge. So bedroom floor's got to come up, and they wanted a floodlight done on the front. We were going to split the circuit and put a 3 amp fuse in it, but we've got no continuity on that ring. So all in all, it's a bit crap, to be honest. There's lots of bits here to make it sort of safer. We even got the main spike on a 10mm. We've got yet to find that. That probably comes down there actually. Look, the mains water. Look. So one of them is going to be mains water, one's going to be the earth spike, yeah? That just sort of lash up again. I reckon they've done this kitchen and bathroom at the same time, because the bathroom's directly above here and it's fairly decent, but again, it looks decent, but behind everything there's always a load of crap, isn't there? So so tomorrow, all we're going to have to do tomorrow is bang a floodlight up on the garage, and then we've got to go and look at a couple of jobs. So yeah, not really much more to show you on this one, to be fair. We'll show you the light tomorrow and that, but that's about it really. So client's just reminded me that this timer's not functioning as it should. So I know that these just come off and you can pick these up, and I've just managed to order one from Screwfix. I just got one from Screwfix, so we'll get one of those tomorrow. It's good they got them on the shelf. Obviously a part that go wrong, so we'll change that one tomorrow for them as well. Pardon?
This one, isn't it?
What's that? Yeah. It's alright.
Oh.
You've only been using that for how long now? Oh no, it's wiped it. But he just do it again, James. It's good practice for you. He's going to do us a new label because the old labelling was look, yeah,
Bit wrong.
exactly. So we will get this done, pack up, and then we bugger off. Well, we can't do that, but we love it. They sent us the wrong part. Right, so we're going to do this light now. James is going to do it. We're going to get the ladder set up. We picked up a, where's the light, mate? Picked up a Collingwood. It's nice to see Screwfix are doing good quality gear now. Look, it's Collingwood. If you want to know, it's an FL02. This is a 20 watts, and you've got the colourable switch LED on the back there. Look, if you have a look, you've got a little switch under here. Anyway, you can see it. Look, warm white, natural white, and cool white. I think it's natural white or normal white or something. 6.5, 4 and 3. So I'll just leave it on 6.5 because it's kind of the brightest. So we're going to swap that. As you can see, there's a bit of twin and earth coming out, so we're going to mount a little whisker box on there, and then change the light. We'll show you when we get on with it. Oh, getting too old for this. This is the twin and earth that's been out in the UV. Look, it's starting to go brittle and cracked. It's not that old, to be fair. This is the little whisker 206 box that we'll be landing into. So we'll drill out the back, we'll bring the cable through the centre, and then we will bring out the cable for the actual light out of a gland. All you've got to do with these is screw them in, and it breaks it out. I'll show you actually. Exactly. Yeah, look, these have got their little gland in there, but because these are, you can just puncture these through. Look, I should get the correct grips from the van, but for now I'll use these ones. But I won't butcher up the gland too much so it doesn't upset too many people. Look, if you just screw that through, look, see how that just pops that out. Look, there you go. Look, don't need to drill it or anything, it just pops out. Great design from them. And then we'll just tighten that up like that. Cable come in the back, cable for the light over here will literally go into there like that and tighten up. Yeah, so the drip loops on the bottom, and then the light will mount either below, or I kind of put them in line so it covers it, but I will show you. But these are so small, look, hardly notice these anyway. Right, there we go. I don't know if it's a bit windy, if you can hear me, but I've done a bit of siliconage around there, a bit inside. We're just ready to now put some Wagos in here, put our cable in there, fix our floodlight to the wall basically. James, are you cold?
A little bit.
It was just sunny a second ago, wasn't it?
It was.
The hooded man.
Yeah.
Right, so another thing I like about these is they come with a bracket. If you show James in that box, see that round thing?
This one.
That's a circular bracket, so you can swivel the light. A lot of lights don't do that, so you have to mount them on the angle and they look rubbish. But these have got that feature on them, and I like these as well. On other lights you have to take this apart to be able to get to the screws, but look, I can comfortably get to those screws to tighten that bracket up. 2 washers, and then look, you can just tilt him up, and then this will literally go up and in and go into our box there. It'll be nice and tidy. We'll shorten this down obviously because that's too much, but just leave a little bit just in case. But yeah, we'll just shorten it up a bit. Right, there we go. He's gone off, James. So walk round there, mate. There we go. Picked him straight up there, and then hopefully, right, if you go down the garden, mate, this has got about 10 to 15 metre range on it. Obviously, it will work better at night. But we were going to mount one on the front of, well, the back front of the house, but obviously the circuit we can't use at the minute till we come back, if we come back to fix it. So we've got it on the walk test, which is the lowest time setting. So if I stay out of the way, it should go off. It's a few seconds it should stay on for. Obviously it might be picking me up. I'll come right out of the way. Come on! Nope, it's not going to go off. Still on. Yeah. Let me know when it comes on, mate. About there. Yeah, about right. So at night time that will probably increase to middle-ish, roughly. Yeah, start of that garage. So yeah, it's good coverage, isn't it? Lovely jubbly. Right, we're going to test that again, and then we'll turn the time up to maybe a minute or something. Don't want it to stay on too long because there's probably a load of cats around here, so